looking what day today, and I've got to go to a medical appointment. It's at 12, or at 1:30 the appointment is, so I'm leaving just after 12, so it's about the height of the heat for the day. They changed the appointment on me. I had an early morning one, which would have been much better, but due to supply and demand, I now have a different appointment, and yeah, it's funny, my bloody gate's a bit out of alignment there. Definitely a bit squeezed in, the gate, don't know what's happened there. Anyway, got to get to the bus. Don't want to be waiting out in the sun too long. There's no shade, which is a real hassle for this bus stop. So it looks like some people are moving in or out. They're doing something anyway. Something's moving down the road there. That'd be a horrible job on a day like today. I did that as a kid, furniture removal. Oh God, those cabins get so bloody hot. Those guys would be earning their money today. So, have the utmost sympathy for them. It's a job that I would only do as a holiday job. I would never do it any longer than that. One of the toughest jobs I've ever had. I guess it makes all the other jobs seem a lot easier. So it'd be like insulation installer. Would be a horrible job too. The guy installing my insulation was sucking down liquid like there's no tomorrow. He was so dehydrated. Yeah, busy here at the moment. So anyway, I don't think it matters which side of the road I'm on. It's almost midday, so there's no protection at all. So I put some sunscreen on, but I'm just worried about dehydration mainly. It's my obvious concern. Like I said, you see down there, there's just no shade. Just here there is a little bit. But I might even wait down here under that tree until at least I know where the buses come by. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Even on the side where they've got the actual bus stop, there's just no protection at all. But just here, there's a couple of patches of shade. I'll take them, I think. A little bit of a breeze, that helps a bit. But I wasn't looking forward to this day when I had to catch the bus. But buggered if I'm going to be waiting in the sun. That's crazy. Yeah, just wait around here. It feels like an oven outside. It's that hot. And believe it or not, yeah, a guy got on at the uni and he's wearing a wind cheater on the daylight today. I looked it up online. It said it felt like 38 degrees. It was 31, but with the humidity, it said it feels like 38. And I've never felt it so. The heat rush out at me as much as getting off a bus as today. It's unbelievable. They didn't collect fares either, the 111, but the guy actually gave me the opportunity to transfer to the 110 to get a direct route into the city. So that was good of him, but I was just wondering whether the other driver was charging. That's where this whole thing about not charging for certain routes can get very confusing, because I wasn't the only passenger that went from the 111 bus to the 110, so I could get a more direct city-bound route. So, yeah, it's problematic. But there were no inspectors out. And if there were inspectors, where does that leave them? I mean, if the bus drivers themselves are not collecting fares, you know, what are you supposed to do? Hold a gun to their head to make sure they charge you? I mean, it's crazy. Oh, well, anyway. I got here and I'll be in an air-conditioned environment very soon. I'll be very happy with that, I'll tell you. It was nice to be in an air-conditioned environment for couple of hours, but now I'm back in the cauldron. Not quite as hot as when I got off the bus, but warm enough. And hopefully when we get down to Smithfield and get myself some gin, which will be nice. It's waiting for me. Oh geez, there's a bus there. Oh no. I can't see which one it is. 3 o'clock, a little after 3, and I'm just heading down to the beach. One of my regular wanderings down there. Fortunately, the wind's just kicked up. Very refreshing, but not good for recording. That's a shame. The weather's improved quite a bit in the last 48 hours. Not nearly as oppressive weather-wise. It's still warm, but it just isn't. It cools down when the sun goes down a bit, you know, and you get a more cool air, and you can. I actually didn't even use aircon at all last night before I went to bed. So that's a first for about a week. So it gives an indication that the sting's out of the hot weather at the moment, and the prediction is that on Saturday we're going to have showers, and that should help clear things out a bit. So I'm just heading down to the beach, getting closer to Kewarra Street, and then I'll go down to the beach itself and walk on the sand. And getting a bit of a breeze there, so I had to stop shooting, but it's very pleasant. Have the wind, have a bit of a breeze. Had a pretty good day yesterday. So with the stock market, I finished up a trade. It's one of those really good trades because it only took me about 10 days or so, maybe a couple of weeks at the most, between when I purchased the shares and when I offloaded them. So that's always good if you can dispose of them, making a decent profit, in this case around 10% or more, compared to the purchase price, within such a short period of time. And it was a stock that I've traded many times, and it's been very good to me, and that's Grain Corp, GNC on the ASX. This particular time, believe it or not, I've got to thank old Vlad Putin, because he was going to rescind his decision to allow the wheat exports to take place from the Ukraine. As a consequence, Grain Corp shares bounced quite considerably, about $1. They were in the $7 range, high sevens when I bought them, and they ended up being just touching $9. I didn't quite get that price, but I did. I got the dollar, an extra $1, which translated to being more than 10% profit. So pretty damn good. And because of Vlad, who now reversed that decision, so it's even better. So people aren't going to starve. So it's not flash making money off people's misery. You know, that's not my intention. But it was totally out of my control anyway. But as it turned out, the decision to stop those exports has been reversed. I think even the Russians sometimes realise when they might have gone a bit too far on negative PR on the world stage, and that's not a good look when you're basically making the most vulnerable in the world suffer from a lack of basic food resources. So anyway, in my case, it was very nice to get that, because it's the second time this half of the financial year that I've actually been able to get a nice profit from Grain Corp. They've been very kind to me, and I've just actually widened the net quite a bit, because I want to get quite a few stocks that I feel at their low points price-wise, snap them up and hope that they'll be an appreciation. Of course, with any purchase online, any stock purchase, there's a risk, and the risk at the moment is that the bottom could fall out of the market totally, and it doesn't matter how good the shares are you buy, you're going to be in trouble, simply because there's a world recession. So that's going to affect everyone. Down here, very pleasant, quite quiet. It's a Wednesday afternoon, not obviously not school holidays. There's very few people here. There was someone who walked onto the beach just ahead of me, but that's the only person I've seen so far. And so pretty quiet. Yeah, I'd rather be doing this than being back home and doing what I should be doing, which is mowing the lawn. It's getting a bit ratty in parts. We haven't had much rain, so I haven't had to do it for over a month, so it's been pretty good. But yeah, I will have to get round to that, and I'm going to have to do something about all the palm fronds and probably get myself a mulcher. But regarding all the stocks and stuff, at the moment the stock market's quite volatile, which is fantastic for trade, because there's quite large movements in stock prices, and that can be quite lucrative as long as you buy at a low price. And that's the trick. You've got to know your shares and know when they're at a good value, which provides you a bit of safety. I mean, it can always bite you in the backside. There's no guarantees. It's risk and reward. The higher the rewards, generally the higher the risk. So it's just the way life is. So you've got to do that. But this water, I've heard the water here is pretty well nice and warm. I've never really gone in, but yeah, it's not bad. It's not cold, that's for sure. It seems to be coming in at the moment, so no, very pleasant. So yeah, what I did today was a little bit of research, because I'm honing in on what they call consumer staples, and specifically stocks that are doing to deal with food, sectors of producing food, for instance. So that's why I like Grain Corp. I mean, it can't get more basic than a company that deals with wheat. You know, they're basically in a grain form, so it's always going to be in demand, and fairly safe bet. They actually split with United Malt. They're all one company, and the malt section's done really poorly. I was surprised at that, because I ditched them both at about the same price, around $4 or so, and now the United Malts are half that. Grain Corp is 4 times that. So, no, it's twice that, I should say. It's about $8. So yeah. Grain Corp's done much better than United Malt, and I hadn't touched Grain Corp for a year or so for some unknown reason, because it's always been good to me ever since I started buying and selling it. I've never had a problem with it, so I guess I've forgone potential profits there. But anyway, that's the way I'm doing it, and I'm looking at other companies dealing with agribusiness, that type of thing. I just think it's safer. There's another one called Select Harvests, which I've bought and sold a few times as well. The almond producers, and they've been stubbornly staying above $5, $5.30 or something like that. Now I think they can drop below that, and I'm just waiting for the price to really dive. And I'll buy a few different lots of it. I'm trying to get an average low price, and take profit with them again as well. But I've taken profits with Select Harvest earlier this year as well. So they've been very lucrative for me. So that's why consumer staples in a food environment, there's like Ingham's on the stock market, ING, also Bega Cheese. They're close to a price I could buy at, but they stubbornly stayed above it today, even though today was a very poor day on the market if you're looking for gains. So there's also infant formula producers, I think, based in New Zealand. There's one there quite cheap. There's some pharmaceutical companies I'm also looking at. That's another area, more risky, but quite lucrative. Big swings in values. But that's why I want to get a lot of these different stocks, because I'll take no doubt I'll take a drubbing on a couple of them, just the way things are. And I may have been super lucky so far with the ones I've been dealing with, but I just want to get the turnover sped up a bit. I want to make my money work a bit faster, get it working harder, so that I can increase the profit margins. And then I'd actually have to worry about tax, but that's not going to be a worry for a while, because I've got so many shares that I've lost money on that you can write them off against, and you won't go until you go into profit. It's not going to affect your tax anyway. So I've still got to make a couple more grand this year just to get up to where I've been with some shares I sold that I'd lost money on, because it was over 7 grand. But that's the beauty of owning shares too, that, compared to, say, putting money on the horses, is you can at least write off your losses, like in a business situation. So it's a huge bonus being able to do that. It does take a bit of pressure off. It makes your losses into an asset, because it means that at least you're going to avoid tax. Not that I'm in the lowest bracket anyway, so it's not like I'm a high roller in it. You know, if I was able to turn over a lot more trades, that could occur, but I am waiting for the recession to hit, so it's going to be pretty tough. I've got the nets out. I didn't think they'd be out this earlier. It's only at the beginning of November. I thought they might wait till the beginning of December. But no, unless it's an optical illusion, that is definitely the net area. So, and there's nets. Oh, someone might swing over there. Yeah, I think I can see a head bobbing. So I think there's only one person in the area. It's quite a large enclosure. Mind you, these nets do not prevent small jellyfish getting in, the ones that can cause the most damage. So just got to keep that in mind. But yeah, so the nets are up. It's interesting. So I really got to get off my ass and get my bathers on and go into the water at some stage. Just nice getting my legs wet today. Anyway, I will do it, I promise. It's only been about 18 months of being here, still haven't done it, so it's about time I did something about that. My camera just cut out too, wasn't it, doing the last shoot, so it's becoming a bit of a problem now. I've done it twice on this one walk. That's not a good sign. I know one thing I won't see, any construction of the bike track. I don't expect that at all. I'm hoping that the Deep Creek Road extension will be completed, because they seem to have done a lot of work on that. And it'd be in the interest of the developers to get it finished, I would have thought. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.